Today's what, the 13th of July. Just going through, these were late nuke splits I made pretty late in the year, so they're actually doing pretty well. Got about a super and a half honey, but I'm running them as 8-frame single deeps, and it seems like when I do that I have to pull brood out roughly every 3 weeks to keep them swarming. So that's what I'm doing today, just pull one brood frame out, giving them some comb or some foundation, kind of keep them working. I'm going to go through and do that, and then I'll take the splits, use them for a builder once or twice, and then put a eye queen on them is the plan. So that's a drone frame that we talk about doing. I've got drone and mixed comb down here. Need to label this one, it's not labeled so I don't pull it out. But you can see there, they draw that out with a mix of different comb versus giving them a drone frame, an actual green frame. Seems to work really well. Just coincidence I pulled this one up out of the gate, so I'll mark that one here in a second. Didn't see her. I don't always find the queen. I know there's some risk in doing that, but yeah, that's one of our queens, one of my queens, our queens that I made. Looks really good. This is good. This is what I'd like to see. You see this uncappings, you see gaps in these frames, and people get all crazy about, oh, it's not solid. Well, it was solid. She didn't miss it. They've just, like this one, they've chewed that open. For whatever reason. There might be a mite in there. There could be a lot of things, but pull this one out. Maybe the one next to it. We'll see here in a second if it's laid up or not. You hear people say, oh, you cut your honey production, which you kind of do, right? I did pull a frame of bees out, but if they get really crowded, then they swarm and you lose all your honey. So it's like kind of like a balancing act, right? That you're doing. So there's pros and cons to each, but this thing is just jam full of bees. I'll fully split it in 2 weeks, or a week and a half. But right now I just kind of trickle the brood out here and there. I mean, there's brood. It's just solid brood. So this one, I might take 2 out on this one. Be 4th rate, because this thing's gonna just explode in a week. So I'm gonna take this one. Let me check it for her. The paint marker I use this year, I like it, but I like the color, but they've been eating the paint off too easy. So. I don't see my paint marker. That's no good. I have to get my backup out. Yeah, this thing will be crazy next week. Still seem like they got a flow going, so that's always good. This one I'm going to give one foundation and one comb. So you can put the foundation in wherever. The comb I'm going to put between these 2 brood frames. I don't like having a gap in between broods, so they'll do the rush draw job on that foundation. But overall, looks good. That one's about half full, so I'm guessing they'll fill both of these this week. This next 5 or 6 days will be perfect honey making weather. Not a lot in bloom on this property, right here, but on the neighboring properties there's a lot going on. Grab my backup marker. Must be, if I had to guess, it's sitting somewhere. Here's my backup one. Well, go through here, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have another 10-ish frames of brood to take, so enough to make 2 new kind of I'll use them for builders, like I said, 2 new builders. Boy, these things propolis the heck out of it. Whew. That one's pretty full. Gonna be full. Like this one I made this year, so I gave it a drone frame, and they've done a really good job of drawing it. Kind of setting up more for next year. You know, you're always planning ahead. I like to have a good mating here, so it's all requeened with our stock. I'll keep bringing our different variations down, but I wanted them to all have drone frames, which they all do. Full of nectar, that's fine. It'll be fine. So this was one I just requeened maybe 2 weeks ago. Got all stages of larva and brood on this frame. So nicely laid up. Cage. When I put her in. It's a pollen. Then right before winter, the last of these, I'll put a medium on when I pull. I'll pull the excluder. I'll leave them with a deep and a medium. And I'll run my deeps as an 8 and a medium through winter. I'm actually gonna pull this pollen frame. It's got some brood and some pollen. So this will be the one frame I take. Kind of pollen bound. These pollen lines, I mean, they're just monsters. They're almost like not for the amateur beekeeper. If you like a lot of bees, these are the ones. I went almost all pollen lines this year just because I want brood, and they bring in a lot of pollen because they're bred for pollen collection and pollination. So you know they'll get ahead of you if you're not careful. Yeah, it's a beautiful frame. Mr. Walburn likes to say, you gotta challenge him, so give him a good frame of foundation, keep them working. Bees don't like to be bored. They get bored, they swarm. So give them something to work on there. Now it's pretty early in the morning, it's like 8:30, still in the shade, so they haven't really, pretty full of all their bees, so the defenses are on high from overnight. Ooh, it's got stung on my finger, I think. Something tickled me. Kind of flip-flop. I'm going to put this empty super below because I come back in 2 weeks to pull from here. I'll pull from here the last week of the month, probably. If they don't have this drawn or it's not full of nectar, I'll just pull the excluder, and then this will be the box that I'll use over winter. Yeah, looks good. And then next year, you know, she'll make it through the winter, she'll come out, and then hopefully when she'll have that drone frame all full of drones for me to collect the II. If they make it through winter, we'll do a harbor assay on them, just kind of check, and then we'll have another potential droner for drones. full, 3/4 full. That one's full. Yeah, this one got after it. Needs another box. And this has been, I've been stealing brood from these every couple weeks. You know, you just have to. With doing the 8 singles, they'll be in a tree. Hopefully they're not already. This one requeened. Another Pauline. Not seeing any eggs yet. Guessing maybe they rejected her. There's a virgin in here. Not seeing any eggs, but still got a few frames. This one didn't re-queen, so we'll give them another week and check for a queen. I'm not going to pull the brood frame out. Probably while they got a lot more honey. I go back through and look for. There's the virgin right there. So people ask, like, why do I have kind of have stuff all over, or different nukes places. Well, this is why. So I didn't like her, the one I put in there, so I made her. Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give him a different mama. One of our mamas. If we have one. So ants. Ooh. I think ants almost bite harder than sometimes. Always have cages with me. I try to always run nukes with put cells and make nukes. And I don't want to say I've let this one go, but I've let this one go a little bit. I've had to these nukes got so full I had to put them in full gear. I didn't have time to circle back, so I split someplace else. Hopefully this one is queen right, and if it is, it'll have one of our queens. I dropped a cell in here a while ago. It's like the path shall continue, or whatever, right? I've got one of our queens we want. taken all those white lids home to paint them. I tried to write on the lids with a marker of any kind. That's why this isn't my primary marker. This thing sucks. So yeah, I'm out of queens, unfortunately, here. Some of these other ones are messed up. I'll just have to mark them and put a cell on them. But I'll eye that queen, just practice. Try this again. Being queenless, that explains why they made a lot more honey. Only have like 2 extra boxes here. So. About out of 8-frame gear. Trying to kind of transition all 10, but man, they do so good. This 8-frame stuff, it's hard. Hard to do. Hard to get rid of it. I have to buy some more 8-frame supers. For a while, I was borrowing a bunch of extra 10-frame gear. So when the 8-frame would get full, I'd take the frames out, put them on a 10-frame, just keep doing that. But eventually, that person needed his stuff back. So I'm growing a lot of 10-frame gear myself. This next winter, as I get honey money, I'll continue. I'll buy probably another half dozen or a dozen 8-frame. Low on fuel here. I'm pretty optimistic that with that one's about 3/4 full, that most of these will be harvestable in a couple weeks. That one's about the same. Again, all these I put drone frames in. That way next year we're in good shape. One sounds better. That's good. That last one. But until you get in here and look, you'll never know. So this one's actually got 9 frames in it. Some of these 8-frame boxes I had are a little wide, and we'll take a 9th frame. Yeah, I've got eggs and larvae, so that's good. Let's see, what's this one? This is a brag. A brag? Yeah, that's a brag. It's good. A little different diversity down here. It's not all that Pauline. Yeah, she's doing a good job filling in all the gaps. Got a nice drone frame, so good mating success. This one's a little nectar bound on some of these frames, so let me steal one of these nectar bound frames out, but no, we'll get it. Oops, I think I saw it. No? Maybe not. Oh yeah, she's right there. Real pretty thing. Saw how much my paint marker was going cray-cray, so that's why you always want to check, you know, before you put it on them. See if this backup marker works any better. Only downside of marking them is let that paint dry. We'll see, hopefully that'll take. Okay. Found her, so that's good. Take this brood frame. Yeah, I'm definitely giving up a little honey. Definitely giving a little honey production. Doing this, all these splits, but you know, I'm trying to grow and I need brood, so that's one way to do it for sure. Hive's been a struggle bus all year. I'm not really sure like what is going on with it. We got that deep rainfall nectar. I've combined it up a few times. I've had to combine a couple of hives to it. They keep rejecting the queens, so I think they might have again. We'll see.